Would you like to make a juicy pork chop right in your Instant Pot? I have this recipe for you coming up. And trust me, you just might lick your chops. Hi, I'm Deborah. You're watching The Last Minute Cook, where I share simple recipes that are quick and nutritious so that you can make dinner at the last minute, feel good about what you're serving, and take back your evening. So if you're new here, consider subscribing and check out the show notes below for more information on this recipe. And also feel free to connect with me in the comments. So for this recipe, we're making some juicy pork chops. We are going to be using some standard cut pork chops. If you have thinner or thicker on hand, you can use those, but these are just your average cut. We're gonna use a couple of strips of bacon. We will also have 3 teaspoons of minced garlic, about a half a cup of honey. If you don't have that much on hand, you can cut that a little, and about a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. We're going to start by sauteing. We're gonna put our Instant Pot on saute, and we're gonna get our bacon going with that butter. So hit start there. I'm only using about a tablespoon of butter, which we'll get that going right there. And then I'm going to cut up my bacon right into the pot. So you can use more bacon if you really like the bacon, which we do, but I've made this with just a couple. I've got my 2 together right here, and I'm just cutting them right into the pot. Pre-cooking your bacon with that butter. We're not gonna let it get crispy. We're just gonna get it where it's just cooked. A little bit of a saute with our pork chops. And the whole thing will take 5 minutes of prep. We are going to be using average cut pork chops. These are boneless pork chops. You can go thinner or thicker based on what you've got. We'll just change the pressure cooking time, but this is just an average, about 1 inch thick boneless pork chop. We are going to be using about 3 teaspoons of minced garlic. So use about a 1/4 cup of soy sauce and a half a cup of honey. So now that our bacon is getting where we want it to be, we are going to just go ahead and salt our chops a little bit. The soy sauce is going to take care of a lot of this sodium, so you know, this is one of those steps if you forget. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to salt these, and then we're going to get those a little bit browned. And it smells good. We don't want to cook the pork chop all the way through. We're just browning the outside. So we'll just go probably about 30 seconds to a minute on each side of our pork chop, and that's it. Our goal here is juicy, so we're just gonna do a quick sear. All right, so that's your side 1, side 2. After we've seared our chops, we are going to throw everything else in and get it started. So I'm gonna hit cancel on my saute, because we don't wanna keep that going. And I'm gonna use my spoon to kind of make sure we don't have any stuck bits on the bottom. So you do want to make sure before you throw everything and get going that your chops are not like stuck to the bottom, or you'll get that burn signal. So we're just going to make sure it's nice and smooth and things can kind of glide around in there. Okay, now we're going to add in our garlic, our honey, and just pour that right over your pork chops. Our soy. I'm using a reduced sodium soy, but use what you like. I'm just gonna gently pour that over there. I'm drizzling the soy just right on top of that honey. Okay. And I'm just gonna, one more time, just check that bottom with my spoon, just make sure it's smooth. Adding those liquids helps kind of unstick those bottoms, those little bits on the bottom very quickly. There's not much work involved in this here. Okay, that's it. This is good. Okay, make sure we've got that bacon. Now I'm going to set this to cook, and basically we're done. Actually, that's not true. You need to stick around to the end because we've got one more step that's gonna turn this into just the pork chops to a pork chops with the sauce with one other little ingredient. So now we're gonna go to our manual pressure cook. Or if you're using the Ultra or one of the models that has the meat stew, you can do that too. So either pressure cook or meat stew. And for the average thick cut, we're gonna go 10 minutes for our pork chops. If they were thinner, I would probably go 8. And if they were the super thick cut, I would definitely wanna do like a 12-minute on that. So let's hit enter, change our time. Average cut, let's go 10 minutes on that. I don't wanna overcook these chops because look you can always add more time, but you can't undo it. So we're gonna go 10 on this and hit start. We're on high pressure for 10 minutes. We're in sealed and we're going start. Checking back, this is gonna take about 5 to 8 minutes to come to pressure because it's already preheated from the saute, so it's not gonna take that long. Then it's gonna pressurize for 10 minutes. We're gonna do a somewhat of a quick release, maybe after a few minutes. Then we're gonna check it out. We're gonna make a sauce for this and you're gonna love it. All right, we have finished our pressure cooking cycle and I'm going to go ahead and do a quick release. These pork chops weren't that thick, so I'm not too concerned about it needing more time. So just get out of the way of the... Our pan has dropped and we're gonna open it up. All right. That look so good, you guys. They smell so good. Okay. So one side will be a little bit more brown than the other because that's the side that it had that delicious soy and honey. So I'll show you both sides. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay. So there's our chops. We're gonna check for doneness. So, you know, thickness does vary, so let's always check before we move on. So these are cooked beautifully. Beautifully. Okay, so at 10 minutes on an average slice thickness, we are set. And I did a quick release on that. We have this delicious soy, honey, garlic, bacony, pork choppy flavor stuff in here. We are not gonna waste that. We need to use this. So we want to take a little bit of water and a couple of teaspoons of cornstarch. Important that you do this. You cannot just put that cornstarch directly in your hot liquid or it will not work. Okay, so we're going to liquefy our cornstarch. Cornstarch is one of those things that I recommend you keep on hand. Comes in handy a lot when you need a thickener. Okay, let's get this in here. I am gonna put my saute back on because I want this to stay warm while I'm working with it. So we're nice and warm. We're gonna add our cornstarch in there. This will take just a minute or so to thicken it. Don't worry about the chops. They're gonna stay nice and warm, and you're gonna be pouring the warm sauce right on top. So no stress there. So moving it to the high saute temperature is a lot faster when you're using this for this step. We're almost done already. And I'm just stirring constantly so it doesn't stick to the bottom. This has been super quick, less than a minute. Once it gets to the thickness that you like, and if we're looking kind of for this kind of a ribbon effect, when you stir, when you're moving your spoon around, it kind of follows. That's pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and end that there. Perfect. Hit cancel. That was, I think, gosh, I didn't time it perfectly for y'all, but I'm thinking maybe a minute and a half tops. This was quick. Okay, once we've thickened the sauce, we are going to plate. So, little side, whatever you've got on hand, mashed potatoes, some rice, some side of vegetables, but this pork chop, oh my goodness, you guys. Let's go with 2 of these. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous. Little bits of bacon. Okay, and serve that. And if you want to get crazy with it, you can just bring that right on over here too. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, juicy pork chops done in the Instant Pot in such a quick way. Okay, let's give this a try. So, our goal here is juicy. flavorful and juicy. Nobody likes to eat a dry pork chop. Look at this. How perfectly cooked that is. This is beautiful. Okay. So I'm gonna take a tiny bite. Okay. With this sauce and that bacon. Ah! Juicy. Beyond. Possibly the best pork chop I've ever eaten. Y'all, you need to make this. This is delicious. I wish you could you're gonna taste this. You need to taste this. So go make it. Let me know how it turns out in the comments below. Let's connect down there. I wanna hear how this worked out for you. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that. Make sure you give us a little like, and I really would love to hear from you. So let's connect, check us out, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bon appetit.